Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
We're in person
Finally.
for the first time in
3 weeks? 2 or 3?
I don't know,
2 or 3 episodes?
long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We had a rerun last week.
Yeah, this is the season. This is the busy season of both of us. So yeah.
No, I'm ready for this season to be over.
I don't know.
I'm really just ready to graduate.
I mean, that makes sense.
I really am. Like, now I have like 3 assignments left. Mm-hmm. And I have zero desire to do any of them.
Well, that usually happens close to graduation.
Like, I'm zero desire. What'd you do last week? Anything good? Actually, what'd you do in the last 2 weeks? Because nobody knows.
What did I do last 2 weeks?
You've been conducting like 400 hours a day.
I mean, I really don't remember. Oh, well, good things. I am helping out Opera Orlando, so I'm the concert master, choir master, whatever it is, for Rigoletto. So that is awesome. So getting ready been working with the opera chorus, Orlando Opera. So Rigoletto is coming up in a couple weeks. So get your tickets if you're in the area. So that'd be fun. They sound really good. They're really working hard. Then what else? Then preparing for UCF Celebrates the Arts, which is coming up next week. And then our first National High School Choral Festival, Saturday, April 16th, I think that's the date. And April 15th is the big choir, all the UCF choirs on the 15th. And then the UCF National Honor Choir coming on the 16th with Dr. Lynn Gackle of Baylor University is going to be our guest clinician. And 4 high school choirs are going to be there. So we'll talk more about that probably this week. So I've been preparing like crazy for that. Then Orlando Choral Society, we've been deep in rehearsals, working on our classical concerts coming up. So that's been fun. So it's just like, and then traveling, and then recruiting and doing gigs. And so it's been a really busy season, and then planning for next year. So yeah, a lot of great things. What about you? What's been going on with you?
Chilling.
Nah.
Went to the gym.
Good.
My arm is somewhat healing. So I can do some yoga, modified.
Me too. I'm just joking.
You can't do no. You can't even bend over and touch your knees.
I mean, I can't touch my knees.
You can't touch your knees.
Okay.
Demonstrate.
Okay, they're gonna see it. Yeah, y'all see that? I've done it. Boom. Wow, demonstrate.
I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. I can see. And I'll say he didn't. He stayed sitting right here and didn't move an inch. And gave me. Well, now he just touched his knee sitting.
I just did it.
And like,
boom.
You could probably touch your knee, but not much more.
Whoa, Nelly.
Yeah, you're not bending. You should. You should do yoga. It will help you as you get older. It keeps people from breaking hips and whatnot.
You trying to call me old?
I mean.
And there's the silence. Crickets. I'm not old. I'm vintage.
You're not old. You're older than me.
Well, this is so true. I agree with you. No disagreement there.
They said respect your elders. I'm trying to help you.
I thank you, little whippersnapper.
I am a young whippersnapper.
Then people are like, oh my God, how much younger? Not a whole lot. So breathe, people.
A whole lot. 8 years.
No, it ain't been 8. It's not 8.
You said it ain't been 7.
7. I'm like, no, it ain't. Yeah.
7 years and 2 months.
Whoa, Nelly. Whoa, Nelly.
Oh, shut up. I thought that had got to go to bed.
No. Wait till we get our merchandise with Whoa, Nelly on it.
I don't want to.
Yeah. That's fine.
I will. I'll wear it.
Mm-hmm. So what else been going on besides yoga and the gym?
I mean, listen. Well, I've pretty much been at your beck and call for all of your stuff.
Yeah, it's true. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of business stuff. You get to see that side of it. It's crazy.
Oh, yay.
I mean, thank you for your true excitement.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I'm not.
I think you are.
But we go to New York this week. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. We should make a podcast from New York if we can have some time. That'd be fine.
I got nothing but time.
Oh, well, I don't. I'll be working like...
Listen.
I'll be working.
Well, this side is a vacation, and I don't know what you're doing. But
I think you do.
I mean, I really do. I got the itinerary.
I mean, you know what I'm doing. Yeah, really be working.
Yay. So, there's one other thing I was going to tell you. I don't remember. Oh, no. We went to my friend Michelle's wedding reception.
That's right. Yeah.
She's so married, and I'm so happy for her.
You know, it's so funny. Well, I am. I'm so proud of Michelle. Congratulations, Michelle. Shout out.
Congratulations, Michelle.
But I want to also give a special shout out.
Shout out. It's like, you make it like, I feel like Belle Biv DeVoe's going to walk up.
I mean, hopefully they will. And then I'll jump in Belle Biv DeVoe and Reading. No. What? Anyway, what I was saying was, I just made it up. So anyway,
that's why they didn't hire you.
I didn't interview for the position. But anyway, what I was saying was, shout out to my baby brother, Kedrick Redding, Texas Southern University. So if y'all saw WrestleMania and you see the band out there playing the entrance music to one of the wrestlers, that's my baby brother. He's assistant director. So he was there, and so I want to give a shout out to him, and I was so proud of him. Oh, another shout out. This is since I'm on a roll right now. Shout out to Charlie Toomer, my brother Charlie Toomer, my brother Benjamin Polite, my brother Terrence Lane, and my sister Nagwanda Miller, who did an incredible concert this past weekend. Claflin University, Bethune, Cookman University, and Nagwanda, wonderful soprano, and my brother Benjamin Polite bass. Oh my goodness, they did it. It just took me back to my family days. So a lot of good stuff on my end. So I'm turning back over to you. Thank you.
Well, I don't do shout out roll calls. Congrats, Michelle. I'm going to go back to that one.
That's awesome.
So that was good.
Yeah. It was fun too.
Shout out to my dog, Brian.
Killer.
I love him. He's so cute.
I know you do.
That's my baby dog.
It really is.
I love him.
Why your voice changed?
I love him so much.
That's my baby dog.
Every time I come home, he goes and picks up something, whether it's like a toy or a blanket.
Or a body.
Or a body or a bone. Speaking of bodies, I got to tell you something about that in a minute. Let me put a pin in it.
Okay.
But he comes up and he wags his tail so hard that like he twerks from his neck down. Like he don't just wag his tail, like his whole butt's going. And it's hard, and like his tail will hit you, and it's like getting slapped with a whip. But mercy sakes, he, just as somebody loves me that much.
Aww.
And wants to see me that bad. I wish my kids would do that.
So this is where I pull out the violin, y'all.
Like, can you imagine if the kids were that excited that they come running up to you and they start shaking their butt like, "Mommy, Mommy!"
Then clean your room. Go upstairs. Will, the butt stopped shaking.
But guess what? Guess what though?
What?
If I tell Brian to lay down, he lays down. If I tell him come on, he comes on.
Good.
He listens.
That's good. The dog you training him because he don't always listen.
No, boy, I got a clicker though today. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
I need to go to Tractor Supply. I might do that when we're done with this. I got to get little tiny pellet treats, according to the dog trainer guy on YouTube.
Okay.
Listen, don't knock my methods.
I didn't knock your method.
All right. So, we have a lot to talk about today.
Yes. I'm listening. I have a lot to listen about, I should say.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, I'm sure you'll have input. But my little boy, Jacoby, my little guy, gave me permission to tell his story.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, for real.
Boom.
So, and what went on in his school and things that have happened to get us to where we are today. If I cry, I'm going to cry. I'll say that. I probably.
That's okay. I do a little rap. When I'm alone in my room, sometimes.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I'll be quiet.
Stop. Good. So, to keep you up to date right now, Jacoby is being homeschooled. Or doing Florida virtual school.
Right.
And at home.
If I say at home, I was supposed to say.
So it's like, I mean, not like a Little House on the Prairie homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with that. No judgment. I don't do it. I'm not whatever. Anyway. And it was a tough decision for me to make And I'd struggled with it even before I had talked to you about it, before he even entered 6th grade.
Right.
Like, because of basically kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, I will be the first person to admit, let me start off. Kids can be garbage. Kids will lie. And I am not the mom who thinks their kid does nothing wrong. Because let me tell you, Jacoby does wrong things. Of my 3, he does the most wrong things. I think he has done more than the other 2 combined. But that's just who he is. So, best heart. The best heart. Sweetest little guy. Wants love, wants attention. My goodness, though, that want of love and attention has got him in trouble. Which probably has got everybody in trouble at some point in their life. The want of love and attention.
Absolutely.
But, so, he has been known, like, well, he's like in 3rd and 4th grade. He was like, he would lie a lot to, and even into 5th grade, to try to impress people. Because he didn't think he was impressive as who he was. So I feel like we got that under wraps. Then he got to where, like, he's very opinionated. Yeah? Wouldn't you say? Like,
I would agree.
And he is very justice-oriented.
I agree again.
And although it's noble, sometimes you, as a child, even as an adult, you have to learn to sit down and shut up, whether you agree with it or not. I went through that today. Like, I was so mad after a call I had at work today. And I literally called my boss. And I was like, listen, because he was on the call with me. And I was like, this is, and so I vented. And he goes, so you're saying everything that you wanted to say to them, to me? Yes. Yes. Because I'm wise. And he listened. He was like, good. But.
Right.
Instead of Jacoby coming home and telling me that, he decided to handle things himself. So early in the school year, I saw some messages that were very bullying. Well, first of all, let me preface this by this. You can at me all you want to. My son is in 6th grade. He is 12 years old. He has no job. Therefore, he has no cell phone.
Right.
He does not need a cell phone. I have a cell phone. If he needs to make a phone call, he can use my phone.
Right.
He doesn't need privacy. He doesn't need any of that. He's 12.
Right, exactly.
So in your inbox, you do not have social media. Why do you not have social media? Because you're 12.
Exactly.
No one needs to know what you're doing. No one wants to see your pictures. And I'm the no one. Therefore, you don't have it.
Right.
When you get old enough to pay for your phone, your portion of the phone bill, and if you act responsibly and you make good grades, I'll consider a phone. But a middle schooler's not having a phone.
Right.
I made the mistake when he was like in 4th grade, getting him like a beat phone and letting him use it.
Right.
And sure enough, it was like group chats and
Temptation Island.
well, just like stupid stuff.
What?
Like mean, like you're stupid. Like, I'm sure I looked at him. And I know, quality parenting, guys. Hey, number one, I'm out here. I'm out here parenting like a champ. I probably looked at him in his face. Was like, "You're stupid. Why would you even say that? It's dumb. Like your text message is stupid. It's not funny. It's dumb. You know, like that's me. So, because it was dumb. Anyway, so I check his email, his school email account. Why do I check his school email account? Do you know why?
No, I don't.
I wouldn't even think about kids. I don't email my friends through my work email account.
Right.
I use my personal email account.
Right.
That being said, these kids, they just be talking through their school email account. I'm like, what are you doing? So then I found these emails that I was less than pleased with. That this girl said, and she sent the link to him. She was being a friend though. She goes, did you see this Google Doc? And I was like, Google Doc? I click it and it was gone. But apparently a boy had made all sorts of names and sent it out to the group of friends because we're not going to be friends with Jacoby anymore. And we're going to call him all these names.
Oh, Lord.
But Jacoby, He was like, it's stupid. Who cares? Call me names. Like, that's the way he acted to me.
Right.
Literally. I was like, that's mean. And that's ugly. And I don't like it. And he's like, whatever. He's stupid. I don't care. So I was like, oh, my well-adjusted child. I'm so proud of him. Like, he don't care. That's right, baby. Sticks and stones.
But his feelings.
Well, he didn't show it to me.
Yeah.
I still don't know if his feelings were hurt.
Like,
or if it, I mean, probably some, but
yeah.
It might have bothered me more than it did him. I don't know.
I mean, as a parent, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so he said, well, it was probably everything after that. That was in the first 9 weeks. All of that was in the first 9 weeks of school. Second 9 weeks, I wasn't happy with his grades the first 9 weeks because he was lazy.
Right.
Second 9 weeks, I took over. Straight A's. And by I took over, like, he didn't do nothing. He sent me every paper before it was done. If he misspelled words, he went back and did it right. At the end of that, he started doing it right the first time.
Right.
So the second 9 weeks, his grades went up. That was good. Then we go to Christmas. Everything's fine. After that, downhill again.
Right.
And I get a phone call from the school, and he got in a fight with a kid.
Okay.
And he got in-school suspension. And he got a civil citation because apparently in the state of Florida, when kids get in fights, they get tickets. Okay. I've never... Anyway. So, there's that. So he got in trouble for that. Because they hit each other and whatever.
Right.
So I asked him what happened, and he was like, this kid was talking smack to me, and I told him to shut up, and he said, don't tell me to shut up. If you keep telling me to shut up. If you want me to shut up, shut me up, meet me outside. And Jacoby said, okay. So he did. Because he said he was sick and tired of it.
Right.
So, and he goes, you said, I didn't say, somebody starts running their mouth and they won't stop, knock them out. I did say that. I did say that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I mean, that's like, he didn't get grounded for it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, rule change.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that anymore. Mommy was wrong. Mommy didn't know that you could get tickets. I mean, in my day and age, you growing up, you better not write a check with your mouth that your hind end can't cash.
Right.
Because you might get your butt whooped.
Right.
So give somebody a butt whooping. Don't let them call you names. Okay, guys, hey, any kids listen to this? Apparently now that's really bad.
Right.
Touch these hands. But anyway, so I digress. Fast forward 1 week from the fight. Jacoby and a little boy are playing outside, and they have like a river stone. You know what I'm talking about? Like the smooth river rocks. About yay big, maybe. Yeah. What would that be? 3 inches?
I guess.
And they're tossing it back and forth to one another. And Jacoby misses it. No, he tosses it, and the other boy misses it. Like he overthrew it. And it hits a little girl that they're friends with in the back of the head.
Lord of mercy. And
she had a red spot. She cried. Jacoby freaked out, was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. She's like, I know. Like they were all playing together, whole 9 yards. He comes home, he don't say anything to me about it. Next day, I get a police officer at my front door telling me to come to the school. I go to the school. The parents wanted to press charges against Jacoby. The cop that I spoke with looked at the thing. All the kids said that they were all playing. The little girl did not want Jacoby to get in trouble. She said it was an accident, and he cried. But the parents wanted charges pressed so the cop couldn't do anything, because when it's a child throwing a stone, he was charged, he got a citation again for battery.
Oh my gosh.
Because it is an unwillful hit with a fist, unwanted hit with an object or like hand.
Right.
So because she didn't want to be hit. I was like, so what would happen if I was in the front yard and I tossed something and I accidentally hit somebody on the street, would I be charged with battery? He said, no, we would laugh in your face, but because it's children, we have to do this.
Okay.
Like, most people can settle things like, but this is crazy. The cop said it was crazy. So I told Jacoby, like, you listen, you're going to get in big trouble. You got 2 citations in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you better keep your hands to yourself, keep your head down, and get through the school year. Because, like, we had to call. We have to have a Teams meeting with these people. And, I mean, so the first one, yeah, okay, he deserved that. Like, and I'll take ownership of that. Like, it was my fault. I shouldn't have told him.
Right.
The second one, like, come on, Karen. Your daughter got hit in the head with a rock. It didn't knock her out. Your daughter said don't do anything. I hope you're listening to this, whoever you are.
Was the kid bruised or...
She had a red mark on her head. She didn't go to the doctor. Right. It was the next day.
Okay. So an overreaction.
Like, no one came to my house that night. Mm-hmm. It was the next day. Like, kids were playing. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, you see these teeth right here? Mm-hmm. Playing. See that white spot on it?
See?
I got it knocked out. I got it knocked out. Playing. Right. My parents didn't sue anyone. We were playing. Accidents happen. Things happen when kids play.
Right.
I got stitches from playing.
Right.
They didn't sue people. Like, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. And guys, I would think that Jacoby was lying. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't that, what the cop said that the little girl said he was playing, the little boy said that the other kid was playing. Like, it was completely unintentional. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I told Jacoby, don't throw a rock. But he's a boy. Like, yeah. Listen, I'm a girl. I throw a rock too. I mean, it's not even got anything to do with the gender thing.
Specific.
No,
yeah.
But
DNA specific.
Yeah, I mean, probably. But I think that he was just playing.
Yeah.
You know, if he'd had a ball, it'd have been a ball. If he had, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's not like it was a boulder. Mm-hmm. And it's not like Jacoby got a hard throw either.
Be nice.
Anyway, but so. Then we're going to go 2 weeks after that. I'm working from home, sitting at my desk. He comes in from school. And you know how, like, you can look at your baby and you know if there's something wrong?
Yep.
I looked at him and I was like, what's wrong? Mm-hmm. And he said, nothing. And I was like, what's wrong? I was like, oh, gosh, did you get in trouble? Because I thought, here we go. I was already fired up. Like, I could feel my blood boiling. Like, what'd you do now? Mm-hmm. And he said, well, and then his eyes started welling up with tears. Mm-hmm. And he said, I didn't do anything and I didn't get in trouble. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what's wrong? And he said, well, this boy said that apparently he was leaving a class. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You probably know this part better than me. But that he was leaving the class and the boy said that he had said the N-word. Right. And Jacoby was like, no, I didn't. Mm-hmm. Like, let me tell you what. Jacoby don't really know what the word... Jacoby's never said that. Right. He never would say that. Like, that's not even our vocabulary. Right. In this home. Like, it's not a... I don't even know where he'd hear it. Yeah. So... And you could... I mean, like, again, how you know that your kid lies? He wasn't lying. Right. Know when he's not, know when he is. Yeah. And he said that, and he's like, no, I didn't. And then it was fine for like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Then Jacoby goes into the bathroom, and 3 boys go into the bathroom and slam him up against the wall and choke him. Mm-hmm. And he said that he got to where he couldn't breathe. Mm-hmm. And his eyes kind of got black in the corners. Mm-hmm. And he thought that he was going to die in that bathroom. Mm-hmm. But he couldn't hit him because if he did, he could end up going to juvie. Right. So he literally stood there and allowed people to choke him. Right. And felt like he couldn't defend himself. Mm-hmm. And he's 12. Yeah. And he had little choke marks around his neck. Right. When he came home, when I looked at it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, over my dead body, is he going back to school? Yeah. So.
And the one thing you don't want to do is mess with Kristie's children.
You don't.
That's just a lie.
You can mess with me, but like leave them alone.
Yeah,
if they wrong.
Even if they mess with you, they better not sign their name to it.
They don't.
They don't.
Real. They like to
be anonymous. Yeah,
honestly.
we don't know who you are anyway. Anyway,
honestly.
Okay, but that being said, yeah.
But it is so. So then I go to the school. There's one person at the school who is being as helpful as they possibly could. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you what their remedy was.
What? Wait for
to
Wait
escort Jacoby to classes to ensure he didn't get bullied. Okay, that's not an option to me. Mm-hmm. Because why in the world wouldn't you escort the bullies to class? Point them out. Mm-hmm. Don't make the one feel awkward that got choked out in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. You make sure that the bullies are doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
You keep that straight. Right. Not my kid. Not the one who got choked out. Mm-hmm. So they rolled the footage. Because there's cameras in the school.
Right.
The boys ended up admitting that they did it. Mm-hmm. They asked me, I would like to also say this to Karen, whose sweet little baby got touched with a rock and needed to file charges. They asked me.
Her name is not Ashley Karen.
No, she's a Karen.
Oh, a Karen. Yeah, I just want to make sure. She's not like,
I don't know. Maybe her name is Karen. It probably is.
So I'm like, anyway, go ahead.
No offense to the Karens out there, because I do have friends named Karen, but you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I did not press charges against these boys. And the reason I didn't was because the person that I talked to said that the parents were mortified, angry, a lot like me. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to ruin these boys' life. Yeah. Because they're still boys too. They made a big mistake. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to allow my son there anymore. Right. But they made a big mistake. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see him go into juvenile detention. Mm-hmm. Give him another chance. Maybe their parents will scare them to death. Like, this is not what you do. Mm-hmm. But my kid was pulled out for it. Yeah. And it is a travesty. 2 days before that, and I'll tell you what, if Jesus didn't put it before me for a reason, when my son came in with choke marks around his neck, I about had to come apart. Mm-hmm. Like, for real. I was losing it. Yeah. Was I not losing it?
Oh, you losing it.
And
so take a breath.
But that little boy, and I can't think of his name right now, I should have looked it up, but God rest his little soul, little 12-year-old boy that was all over like social media that killed himself this year. Yeah. From being bullied. Mm-hmm. And now my son is in virtual school, right? Mm-hmm. We've been doing that for 3 weeks now, I guess.
Yeah, he's a lot happier.
He's a different kid. Yeah. So parents, here's something. If your kid is a turd and they're in middle school, it could be more than just middle school angst, because he still can be turdy. But is turdy a word?
No, not at all.
that could be a shirt. Is turdy a word? But he acts different. Mm-hmm. He's happy. You know what he said to me? What? It was his idea to talk about this on the podcast. Right. Because he said, people need to know.
Yeah, maybe inspire another parent.
Well, he said as to what's going on, because he was miserable. Mm-hmm. He said he was scared when he was at school, and he's sad because he does miss some of his friends there. Mm-hmm. But he was also nervous all the time of getting in trouble. Yeah. And he said, I would get in trouble for things I didn't do. Yeah. All the time. Well, and he goes, I know I did stuff. He goes, I know I did do stuff that I got in trouble for.
Accused of stuff that he did not do. It's one thing to be accused of stuff that you did do, and you own that, and you deal with the consequences. It's a whole different thing to be accused of something that you did not do. Right. Yeah.
And he said, the other thing he said that I thought that was very wise, and to any teacher friends out there, and you can input on this too. Yeah. He said, teachers have favorites. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I get that. Like, they're going to. And I'm probably not going to be a favorite. And he said, but I was, like, I almost said the teacher's name. Ooh, that would have been bad. Mm-hmm.
I said, delete, mega. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he said, but there was some teachers that you knew who their favorites were. And if you made one mistake, you were never going to get back in their good grace.
And that's unfortunate.
That they were not forgiving at all.
That's unfortunate.
And, you know, I think that if you're a teacher and you no longer are in love with teaching students, you shouldn't do it. Yeah. Like, if you're a nurse and you don't like to care for patients, you shouldn't do it. Right. Like, find something that you can be passionate about, because those are two sects of people, sects, SECTS, of people that really need care.
Right.
And if you want to know what school he goes to, DM me. I'll send it to you. And the person who helped me, I appreciate it. I won't say their name, but for being so understanding and so helpful. But it was, you need to know, just talk to your kids. If I had accepted his, and I'm telling you, there's days I probably would have. I'm not saying like I'm such an in-tune parent. I could just tell in his eyes he wasn't happy. There's probably days that I would just been like, "What's wrong with you?" And he'd have been like, "Nothing." And I'd have been like, "Okay," and went back to work.
Right.
For whatever reason, and probably God, it was like probe. And it gave me a realization, like, hey, you've really got to like probe with this kid,
right,
and pull things out of him,
right.
But I mean, you've seen him, seen him. Send him.
Different kid. You know, I'm gonna come from a different place. You know, because one thing, for what he went through was traumatizing. It was bullying. It was abusive. It was not good. So that's one thing. Going through what he went through, and then be put in the position because of some of them mistakes that he did make. He's then accused of stuff that he didn't do, but he can't respond the way he want to respond, because then he'll get punished for it. Like, you know, so the consequence don't fit the crime, basically.
Right.
So, but that's one thing. So I'm coming from a place of, okay, a parent and then a teacher. Well, then, you know, teaching middle school, well, any kind of schools, but that's hard for any teacher. I mean, because middle school, first of all, is some beautiful moments that can happen in middle schools. And there are many wonderful middle school teachers, wonderful middle school programs, wonderful middle school experiences for the kids. I've seen it over and over again. But that's also, now this could also happen in elementary and high school. But we're specifically talking about middle school right now. For a teacher, it's the middle. It's the transition year for students. Transition in body, transition in mind, you know, and so on and so forth. There's a transition that kind of happens there. And so their emotions can be all over the place for kids, identity, and so on and so forth. So a teacher's job, sometimes it's really hard, because one thing is that my mama used to always say it's home training. In my high school quarter, used to always say it starts at home and spreads about. Students don't realize that when they miss, it's one thing, kids are kids. And at the end of the day, they're going to all, you know, act the way they're going to act because of their age and so on and so forth. It happens with adults. But that being said, they have to also understand is that that's a reflection of the home. If a kid is comfortable with doing it at school, they probably do it at house too. And maybe have been allowed to get away with some of it. So therefore, it starts at home and spreads about. So the first thing we call it home training.
Well, that was me.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't train. Well, so, I mean, he did what he was trained to do. Get him. Get him, Tiger.
No, I'm not saying. No, I wasn't saying that about you. No, I'm trying to say.
I mean, I'll own it.
No, but just then I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about in general how kids just do stuff. You know, some of it just their age, some of it just that they've been allowed to do it. So you have that. So teachers have such a hard thing, because from a middle school, you know, it's like the teacher's job is hard. And then you get attacked by parents, you know, who, my baby's totally innocent. And no, your baby's not innocent, but he knows how to fool you, you know. So you have that going on. And then, you know, so you have a lot of stuff like that. But then you have the student, you know, how sometimes they just misbehave. And middle school is hard for kids, because then the little bullies pop up. And they bully, like Jacoby was bullied. And you know, a bully works in a pack. That's the thing about bullies. They work in a pack, because if you get a one-on-one, 9 times out of 10 it ain't gonna happen. All the junk they talked when they had their little posse, when you will face them face to face, okay, now let's have a conversation.
That ain't only with kids.
That's
the grown adults too.
I mean, they just scurry away. it tells. You don't have to say that. So you literally lied. You literally did this, and this. Okay, got you. But one thing Jacoby did was he did the right thing by coming and talking to you, and literally he did the right thing by not swinging. Because I've always said this, and now since I'm older, I really realize it. People look at how you respond to things. Period. When you comment, how do you respond?
With these hands.
You know, so it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing, because literally, if Jacoby would have responded physically, the attention would have been on the response, not what planted the seed to cause it. And so in middle school, and I think in life, that's very important to always remember.
Well, here, let me interject.
Yeah.
The first time, Jacoby probably shouldn't have thrown hands, and I will take blame for that. The second time, if there hadn't been a first time, then the second time he could have. If you think you're going to die, you fight for your life.
Well, yeah, no.
And he just stood there.
No, fighting for
Oh, that breaks my heart.
Well, the thing about it is what they don't really understand about Jacoby. That boy's growing. He's going to be a big boy.
I know. I can't wait.
But no, at the end of the day, you can't wait. Because at the end of the day, you don't want him out there doing that kind of stuff.
No, I don't. But what I do want, I want them little pipsqueaks who probably full grown at their 5'7" to wait till he's full grown.
So listen, we're talking to an angry parent. I feel like I'm in a therapy session trying to talk her down, and it ain't working. So therefore, I'm just moving on. I can just give advice.
I'm still mad.
Listen, no, you can listen. I'm not knocking you being mad.
Listen, I understand. But, to be fair, I understand that they're children too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you said, I want them to be okay, but then I also want to go box their jaws myself.
The thing about it is they're children, but if it's not fixed, they're children that will become adults. And they'll do it as adults.
I know.
So that's the whole thing.
Well, here's the thing too, though. And like, this is the thing too. I thought about this when I was prepping this, thinking about what I would say. I was bullied last year, bad, by a woman. I use that term loosely too. Oh, that wasn't on this podcast that I said man, and I use the term loosely.
I mean,
never mind. It don't make sense.
You see a lot of things loosely.
No, I was at work. I said it at work. Anyway, never mind. So we're just going to keep moving. I'm not going to edit that out.
Right.
I use the term loosely.
Right.
And but she literally made fun of what I look like. We've talked about this, I think, before.
Yeah, we have.
I don't know. But like, it's funny because I've seen her a couple times. Mm-hmm. She can't look at me. Can't look at me because she knows I know what she did. But you can bully me behind my back, but you can't look at me to my face. So what I'm going to do, and what I have been doing, I forgive her. Like, I literally forgive this woman.
Good for you.
And the reason is because how damaged and how terrible her self-esteem must be, that the way that she makes herself feel better and important is by insulting other people. Like, you're not going to hear me make fun of the way that somebody looks. You're not going to hear me. And I mean, I understand I ain't everybody's cup of tea, but to my own self, I love it. I love this. Like, listen, you gotta clap for your own self some days, and I will clap every day when I wake up. I might look a hot mess and be like, "Girl, you can get a little Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation, glue on some eyelashes, and put some chapstick on, and you gonna slay." I mean, I'm just saying. So, like, and I don't care if I'm fat, if I'm skinny, if I'm tall, if I'm short. I'm very comfortable in my own skin and who I am as a person. I don't need to make fun of what people look like.
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't need to tear people down to make me feel important and validated. I don't need to do it. And these kids, when they're doing it from the same place.
Yeah, but the thing, but you gotta understand this. The lifeline, the lifeblood of a bully is in the pack that it runs in. When the pack disappears, the bully cannot exist. Does that make sense to you?
I mean, I don't know that I agree with that. I think you can have a solo bully.
No, not up in your face. You can, in terms of size, maybe. I'm talking about just chatter.
Oh.
So, because you're talking about you was picked at, whatever.
Yeah.
My whole point to you is this right here.
You said picked at. I was bullied, sir.
I mean, whatever word. But the point I'm trying to make is right here. It doesn't matter to Jacoby or you or myself or anybody else. The funny thing about this is that sometimes your silence will always expose the truth of what the foolishness is. And sometimes you just sit back and eat popcorn. With you, people are starting to realize, wait a minute. Because you know that. Mm-hmm. And I know that. You know what I'm saying? Something ain't right here. I know. Or with Jacoby, he's a lot happier. And people realize he's a good boy. So sometimes, yes, sometimes you got to sit up and you got to fight. But sometimes the worst thing you can do is fight. And silence can, because when you're silent, sometimes other folks will fight for you.
Yeah, that's what I did for him.
Did you pause it?
Oh. I didn't pause it. I touched my phone because I was going to read something and he thought I paused it.
Okay.
He's like, why you pausing my speech?
So the thing about it is you fought for him because he was put in a situation where he did not respond, so you didn't have to discipline him. So literally, the folks got in trouble. Sometimes you just got to keep going. And people who are for you will be for you. Mm-hmm. And eventually, time is undefeated. Eventually, it just says, oh, wait a minute, this is what really happened. And then all of a sudden, yeah, now let's talk. Since you done got past those lies now.
This is something that I had to tell him. Mm-hmm. He talked to one of his friends the other day. And the boys ended up admitting what they had done, right? And he ended up getting his feelings hurt, though, because he goes, well, some of my friends didn't even, stick up for me.
Yep.
They didn't say anything. They just sat back. And this is what I told him. That's not the problem. The problem is not friends showing up and supporting you or sticking up for you. The problem is that you're calling those people friends. Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
You are people. I mean, it's true. It's true. Because at the end of the I shut you off. I cut you off. Go ahead. I just realized it because I'm like, yeah.
I like it when you agree with me vehemently.
Yeah, I'm like,
but you can be cordial. Mm-hmm. You can be friendly. But a friend's got your back.
Yeah.
A friend is not afraid to stick up for you in public or in private. Mm-hmm. A friend is comfortable in their own skin, but a friend will also tell you when you're wrong.
Yeah.
A friend will say, bro, you messed up.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have done that.
Exactly.
A friend will say this, I can't defend you for what you did because you were wrong, but I'll be here to help you pick up the pieces.
Exactly. That's a friend.
That's the issue. Mm-hmm. Understand who your friends are. And as parents, we have to be an example of what a friend is.
But also you have to be careful that you cannot, oftentimes when you put expectations on other people, the whole thing about treat people, okay, let's talk about this. Treat people the way you want to be treated. There's a caveat to that. And part of that caveat is what? Did you have unrealistic expectations that they would treat you the same way? If that makes sense to you. Treat people the way you want to be treated, but that person don't feel the same way about you as you feel about them. So therefore the expectations are different. So therefore they won't treat you the same way. Then your feelings get hurt. Mm-hmm. And then oftentimes you have to say, okay, lesson learned. A valuable thing you said that Jacoby said, the people who he thought were friends were silent. That happened as adults also. Mm-hmm. And what do you do in that? You take a picture in your mind of who they are. You still smile and you greet, but they've taught you who they are. Right. Well, and you say, okay. And you keep it going.
You either accept it or you don't. But me, I don't. I don't accept it. What I do is this. And this is why I have 1.3 friends. I'm totally kidding. Well, but no, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Mm-hmm. There is not a friend that I have got that will not tell me the truth.
Yeah.
I could say, Michelle, do you think? And she would say, you are literally making the worst choice of your life. Mm-hmm. Or she said to me, I kid you not, this one time, me and her, we were downtown I almost said Fredericksburg. We weren't.
I mean, you really were.
Winter Garden. And we were sitting at them little tables in the middle. Mm-hmm. And she said, I just want to say, I literally thought that you were so rude the way that you talked to me the other day. Mm-hmm. And it hurt my feelings. Why did you talk to me like that? I mean, yes, girl. And I was like, oh my gosh. I started crying. I didn't know I did. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where, like, you said something, the fire alarm's going off. So we had to make a little interlude because Jacoby almost burnt the house down. Not really. He's grilling hamburgers and the thing was smoky. And it made the smoke detector go off.
What there's that?
They work. The smoke detectors work.
Right.
So that's good news.
Let it change the battery. I'm just
joking. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot more to add. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, it's, recap. It's talking about being middle school, and we kind of ventured off a little bit, but, it's hard for oftentimes both teacher and kid, specific in the middle school. And I got to come from that, coming from being a teacher of high school and not college, but, the battles. And so there are a lot of things that folks juggle. What I'm trying to say is oftentimes there needs to be grace and understanding on both sides. And we don't know what's going on. Bullying of any type is wrong. And oftentimes if it's happening at the middle school level, if it's not under control, they become bullying adults. Mm-hmm. And so you have to be careful. It just doesn't all of a sudden pop up.
Right.
But the tools that we talked about was number one, Jacoby learned some valuable lessons. He thought people were going to stand up for him. First of all, let's back up. He did a couple wrong things before that created the environment, first of all. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so there are consequences when you do wrong. So one of the unfortunate thing about consequences is that sometimes you're given a short rope. People, you probably did that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that, which is unfortunate and not right. So that's, you know what I'm saying, with a couple of other things he did, So, but then he's doing right, but yet instead, if he responds, he's punished. He can't even defend himself. So the best thing that he did was to do nothing. Because when he did nothing and he did not respond in any way, it shined a light on what was really happening. Mm-hmm. And so what happened with Jacoby, you transfer that to all parts of life. Sometimes you don't need to respond. Right. Because time tells it. Right. And what happened with that time, he didn't respond. All of a sudden, Mama Bear got involved in it. After a while, she was able to fight. You were able to fight the battle without being told, well, your kid shouldn't have hit him back. Right. So therefore, all the clarity was on what?
I will say there was a power in that when I was talking. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, we got to get the kids in here and we got to get statements. Hard eye roll. But anyway, I know they have to. It's just, I hate the word. It's like, it's not Law and Order, sis. Right. But anyway. Right. So we got to get statements from everyone and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And sure enough, my kid who had a little history, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, maybe he was provoked before. Yeah. Oh, maybe.
There you go.
And that was the thing when they started realizing that the administration, and here's the thing what I'm saying. I ain't saying teachers should have done more. I ain't saying administration. The only thing that I say that was different for the administration should have done, don't escort a kid after they've been bullied. Yeah, I think that's a bad idea.
I agree with that. Escort the bully.
Escort the bully. Yeah. Like, I mean, come on.
Let's do a parade.
Yeah. No. So, but I don't think, so I don't want it to come across like I felt like they did anything wrong, but it was very...
vindicating.
Yeah, to realize like, he might have had a hand in it. Mm-hmm. He's done wrong stuff, yeah, but when he said that the kid, because one of the kids was the kid he got in a fist fight with before. Yeah. When he said what had happened before, now they actually believe him. Yeah. Rather than thinking he was just like a little fighter. Yeah. That, like, oh, he was actually. And then all of a sudden, when the child, one of the children, one of them, it was like Law and Order, from what I understand. One told, and they're like, okay, so this one told, and they all flipped and told the same story. Yeah. Like, when they realized that somebody was not lying about it anymore.
Yeah. And so you transfer that to everyday life. So he learned that valuable lesson that regardless of how badly you want to respond, and keep in mind, there are some situations you may do have to respond. You know what I'm saying? But you're very careful with that kind of stuff because you don't know what the consequences are. The other thing is now people are seeing Jacoby's a good kid. He ain't a perfect kid. But some of the things that they say that he did, wait a minute. There's a shade of gray now. But that's how bullies do. But wait, hold on for a second. Okay. That's how they do. You transfer that to your situation when you were bullied. The best thing you did was, okay, because eventually time, and it has already started happening. Wait a minute. There's some shady stuff ain't quite right. Okay, keep going. Next thing, you pick and choose when you open your mouth, but sometimes you just gotta be quiet and keep going. Because that also tells a whole lot.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Because then people will focus on your reaction. So this can go as a kid or this can go as an adult. Keep in mind, as a kid and adult, there are times that you may have to respond in kind and say, wait a minute. But there are times silence speaks, and then when silence speaks, the truth comes out anyway.
But don't show your whole butt when you do respond.
Yeah, but the thing about it, the truth comes out anyway. They're like, oh. And then, so you see who your friends are. You see your friends are not. You see what's what, and then you say, got it. Duly noted. And you pick yourself up, and you keep going, and you keep going.
And you have to have enough wherewithal to, I will say this, mamas out there, if you're anything like me, I literally asked you to go watch the video.
Yeah, sure.
I gave permission to the administration that he could come and he could watch the video because I thought I might come in there and run my mouth and show myself because I was raging. Because
you are Jacoby Sr. You're correct. Jacoby is just like you. So, yeah.
But I was mad.
I mean, you was mad.
I think Jacoby better than me. I think Jacoby, a lot of times, he might get, I think I get madder than him.
Yeah. But I'm talking about just
he can take things
I'm talking
better.
about the freedom of speech. So the freedom of speech. So I walked in there and I listened to it and I watched it and I didn't have a dog in the fight. It was just like, let me just look at it. And when I saw it, I said, oh no, this happened. I just saw that myself. But then what was brought up was, but you know, Jacoby, in the past you. And when that was brought up, I knew already there was a cloud of, and it wasn't intentional, but you can already tell there was a cloud of doubt that one, Jacoby created, but everyone has the right, to tell their side of the story. Right. You know what I'm saying? Without the shade of gray over their life.
Right.
So that's the whole thing, was it? And so that's why I let the person know, don't all of a sudden jump to conclusions. Get the whole story, because you're going to find out the truth.
Right, I mean, like...
And Jacoby own his stuff. You don't own somebody else's stuff.
Right.
And that's the thing about it. You own your stuff. You can't own somebody else because everybody try to put everything on you. No. And then you'll realize what all lies were. And all of a sudden, all the lies came out. The truth and all the lies. And therefore, here we are today.
Did you ever watch Judge Joe Brown? Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it was Judge Joe Brown that said this one time. No.
If you would have hit him, we wouldn't have been there. But go ahead.
Okay. Don't let the middle of your sentence interrupt the beginning of mine.
Well, I wasn't done. I was comma. But go ahead.
That was a long comma.
No, comma. Go ahead. Go. Judge Joe Brown.
He said, it was like one of them small cases. And this woman was like, well, he's a pothead. That's what she said. He's a pothead. And he went, all right. And it was, she was suing him because she said he stole her stuff and tore her stuff up. And he goes, where do you get that because somebody smokes weed recreationally? Because you know how Judge Joe Brown was. He was like, real. And he said that all of a sudden they're going to go into breaking into a home to steal your stuff vindictively when the reason that you all broke up was because you said he was too lazy and wouldn't get off the couch. Do you think he goes, look at him right now. He don't look like he got that much passion. He goes, so what I'm going to say is this. Don't make such a leap that just because somebody does one thing that you don't approve of. You know, they said about Scott Peterson, the murder of Scott and Lacey Peterson. That was one of the things that his defense attorney said. He's like, yeah, he did something bad. He cheated on his pregnant wife. That don't make you a murderer.
Right.
You're making a big jump from one to the other. You know what I'm saying? Like with this, you can't make a jump for Jacoby. Like, you need to take each situation, and I need to do it as a mom. Right. To be honest, I don't do that. But like, yes, you can look at the track record, and take it into consideration, but it shouldn't be your final verdict. Yeah. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But I'm going to leave you with something, a little nugget. So, Jacoby said to me, you know, that he feels like, you know, that it was something to where like a door kind of got shut on him, because I just told him, I'm pulling you out of school. It's too dangerous for you for me, I'm pulling you out. Like, we didn't have a family conversation. I'm your mom. It's just me. Right. Your daddy's up in heaven. Right. I'm making the decision. Until you're 18, I do have to do what's best for you. And you don't have an opinion here. Right. You might have one, but it's not being taken into consideration. Final word. And he said he felt like a door kind of just shut on him. Sometimes doors shut. And I promise you, if a door shuts in your face, it's because God wants that door to shut. If you keep walking down that hallway, there's hundreds of more doors. Yeah. He gonna get you to the one that he wants you to open that's going to have a lot more in it. Yep. Don't cry over shut doors. Do not cry. Be grateful for it.
And I co-sign. Every door that's shut is not a rejection. Oftentimes it's a redirection. Right. And a redirection that you need to go through. Because you would not have shut the door any other way. Right. So therefore, sometimes the door needs to be shut for you. Yeah.
And Mama had to shut the door.
And that's right. And that's right. And you keep it going because you have other blessings. I mean, even if, and the door that's shut, you think is a blessing because of what you think. Please.
And I'll tell you right now, mamas and daddies too, no one wants to hear you rap.
At all.
None.
For real.
Irritating.
So irritating.
Y'all are doing a great job. I know it's being hard. And I'm praying for all you mamas out there. Bullies out there, I'm going to pray for your hearts too. That you feel better. And to where you don't need to be mean to people anymore and you can just find happiness in your own life. Right. If your kid's a bully, I'm going to pray for you and the child. Because it scares me to death that my kid would be a bully. And I swear if he's a bully, I'll bully him when he's home.
This is true.
Like, I don't play that.
This is true.
So guys, can we just be nice to everybody? Thank you. Thank you. I mean, we're not going to be nice to everybody. I'm not nice to everybody. I literally had a conversation to where I talked about how I couldn't stand people today. But I'm going to pray for them.
Pray for you.
And I'm going to pray for me. Yeah. But, so make sure you follow us on Instagram at Red and Green Colorblind. Check out our website. Send me your questions. Tell me no lies. And if, Captain Busy Pants can pencil me in New York, we'll do one from there. A podcast. I said we'll do one. We'll do one. Do one what?
A podcast.
Yes. Okay. Well, close it.
Bye. I mean.
No.
What did we say?
It's what you say. You close it. I opened, you close.
I don't know what to say, but okay. Thank you for tuning in again, and thank you for your great support. Go on and rate us with 5-star and write a comment, any kind of question that you may have or something like that. I hope this helps you. Like I said, we're not coming from as experts, or
we're experts in nothing,
or just life experiences, just kind of talking literally kitchen table talk. Right. And so you just been invited to the table. So please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, like us, and we'll see you soon at Red and Green,
the podcast.
Peace.